Hi, welcome to Pirkei Avos with Rabbeinu Yonah. We are starting chapter 6. Now, chapter 6 of Pirkei Avos is actually not technically part of Pirkei Avos. Pirkei Avos is only 5 chapters, which we finished last time. And the 6th chapter is actually a brisa. That's not part of the Mishnayos. That was something external to the Mishnayos. And it's all about the importance of Torah study. And it was put together with Pirkei Avos, that it's customary to learn the 6th chapter of Pirkei Avos, which is not technically a part of Pirkei Avos. And I just saw the Maral writes the first 5 chapters about Pirkei Avos are about ethics, about Musar, how to have good character traits and be a good person. And the 6th chapter is about studying Torah, the importance of studying Torah. And the Maral writes, we put them together because both of these things are needed. A person can't be a Torah scholar unless he has good midos, works on developing good character traits. And just the same, a person really can't have good character traits unless he studies Torah. Studying Torah inspires a person to grow spiritually and to become a more ethical, moral person as well. So we need both of these things. We need the Torah study, and we need the ethical practice and the ethical musar and the ethical teachings, which are also obviously contained within the Torah. But a person can't just read about the ethical teachings. He has to actually put them in practice and work on them. And obviously we're not going to change overnight, but we try our best and work little by little. Shanu Chachamim. So, chapter 6, number 1. Shanu Chachamim, the sages taught the Lashon HaMishnah and the language of the Mishnah. Baruch Shebachar Bahem U'Mishnasam. Blessed is he who chose them and their teachings. Rabbi Meir says, Kol ha'osik b'Torah lishma zoch l'dvarim harbe. Whoever studies Torah lishma for its own sake merits many things. Now, what does it mean to study Torah lishma? There are multiple ways you can study Torah. Torah study lishma means that I'm studying Torah in order to know what Hashem wants from me, to know what the Torah says. The Torah is God's guidebook to humanity, and I study for no other reason except to know what the Torah says and that how I can carry it out. I want to learn how to put on tefillin, so I start learning about tefillin, and I do it not because I just want to know the theory behind the tefillin, but I want to know how to do it practically. It's on condition that I carry it out. So that is considered lishma. So learning it Torah for its own sake, and learning on condition to fulfill. Now, if someone learns Torah because he wants to be important, he wants to be called a great scholar, be called a rabbi, that's called Torah Shalol Lishma. A person that learns like that is not going to merit the many things which the Mishnah Bryce is going to enumerate. However, we still say that a person, even if he's learning for ulterior motives, if he's learning for Shalol Lishma, he should still learn Torah anyway, because eventually he'll come to learn Lishma, he'll come to learn for the right reasons. The Yetzer Hara sometimes tries to get us and say, oh, you're not doing it for the right reasons, you're not studying Torah for the right reasons, or you're not doing a mitzvah for the right reason. Just forget it. That's not the proper perspective. The proper perspective is, yeah, maybe I'm not doing it for the right reasons now, but if I keep doing it eventually, I'll be doing it for the right reasons. Now, the one time that you should not learn Torah is al-manas l'kanter. That's when you're studying Torah in order to fight with somebody. You want to argue for no other reason, just to prove them wrong. So you study Torah so you can embarrass them and prove them wrong. That's when you're not supposed to study Torah. But we're going to learn that all of these things in the Mishnah a person gets if he learns Torah lishma. That's Torah for its own sake, to know what the Torah says and to carry it out. So what are these things? V'lo od, and more than that. The entire world, it's kedai, it's fitting that the entire world was made for him. Nikra Reya, he's called a friend. Ahuv, he's called beloved. Oyev es hamakom, he loves God. Oyev es habrios, he loves people. Mesameach es hamakom, he makes Hashem happy. Mesameach es habrios, he makes people happy. When a person studies Torah, it changes his whole disposition. He becomes a pleasant person. He wants people like him. He likes other people, likes being around people. It changes his whole personality. It has an effect on the whole psyche of a person, the whole spiritual makeup of a person. You'll notice, you go to, I remember the first time I went to the Malpin Kolo when I was a child, these people who studied Torah the entire day, I was so taken aback how friendly they were and how nice they were and how their whole disposition was just pleasing, and they were such pleasant, sweet people. You'll find that by great Torah scholars and people that spend their time studying Torah, because studying Torah, it's not just an intellectual pursuit. It's not like they're sitting around studying math or studying history all day. That doesn't change a person's disposition. But studying Torah, which is a spiritual thing, will change a person. Furthermore, studying Torah causes a person to be clothed with humility and fear. Machsharto lios tzaddik, and he's fitting to become a righteous person, a chassid, to become a chassid. A chassid is, what's the chassid is beyond the tzaddik, that's someone who's above, keeps the Torah above the letter of the law, he does things that aren't even required. Yasher v'neman, he is called straight and trustworthy. Yasher, Rashi also says, is greater than a tzaddik. V'neman umar marchakaso min hachet, and studying Torah distances a person from sin. When someone studies Torah, it's easier for him not to sin. And it brings him close to merits, to having merits. And people merit from him, they get from him advice and wisdom, bina ugvura, understanding and strength. Shnamar, it says, li eitzah, to me it is understanding, with oshi and wisdom. Ani vina li gvura, I am understanding, and to me there is gvura, to me there is strength. So a person who studies Torah has a proper way to look at things. He knows what the Torah has to say about many things. That's why you'll see people, they ask great Torah scholars for advice, called Das Torah, because the Torah has an effect on their minds to answer the question in the proper way and to direct them in the way what Hashem wants from them. And they are not influenced by other things. They're going to give them, furthermore, they're going to give them advice based on what Hashem wants from them, based on what the Torah says. They're not going to be subconsciously influenced from, let's say, the New York Times or from media. Okay, that's Mishnah Aleph. Let's do Mishnah Beis. Someone who studies Torah gets kingship and rulership, and he gets analytical judgment. He's a good judge. He teaches him how to think. Learning Torah teaches a person how to think. My Rebbe had a student in Or Sameach, which is a yeshiva for returnees of Judaism. And this student's mother didn't want him to study Torah. He said, you should go to college, you're wasting your time. And one day, and it was a big fight with her all the time, that she didn't want him to stay in yeshiva. And one day, she calls him, he said, you could stay in yeshiva. What changed her mind? Because she read an article about Reichman from, I forgot his first name, Reichman, the one who used to be a billionaire in Toronto. And they did an interview with him, and he said, what does he attribute his business acumen to? And he said, because he studies Torah. He studies Talmud. So she said, you can study Talmud. Obviously, it wasn't for the right reasons. It was shalol lishma. But you'll find that people who study Gemara, it sharpens their analytical skills. But people who learn Torah in general, they get this, okay? And he continues, Umegalim lo razi Torah. Someone who studies Torah, Hashem reveals to them secrets of Torah. V'nasa k'ma'ayin she'enu posek. They become like a spring which doesn't stop. Ukenar shemizgaber v'holech. And a river that is constantly bringing forth water. V'havei tzanua. And he is modest. People say that Judaism only stresses modesty on women. That's totally false. Here you see here that a Torah scholar also has modesty, right? Everyone has modesty, but there's special modesty by a Torah scholar. If you look in the Rambam, you'll see there are special laws about how a Torah scholar should conduct himself and the clothes that he should wear. Someone who studies Torah, ve'erech ruach, he's slow to anger. Because he's studying Torah, it improves his character traits, and he doesn't get angry at people. Umocha al-bono, he is more likely to forgive when people wrong him. Someone who studies Torah, it just changes his whole personality, and he becomes more of a selfless person. So it's easier for him not to get angry at people, and it's easier for him also to forgive those that have wronged him. And he is made great and exalted on all of the creations. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, "B'chol yom v'yom baskal yotzim mahar Chayriv." Every day, a heavenly voice calls out from Mount Chorev, Mount Sinai, Machrezes uvel meres, and it calls out and says, "Oy lahem labrios me'albona shel Torah." Woe to the creations for the insult of Torah. Shekol misheina osik b'Torah nikra nozuf. Whoever doesn't study Torah is called a nozuf. It's like a detestable person, someone who doesn't. Or Rashi says here, menudeh. It's like someone who's excommunicated, someone who has the opportunity to study Torah. Such a wonderful thing. The mind of Hashem, we can get in touch with the mind of God, and a person neglects it, he's called a nazif, a detestable person. Shnemar, as it says, nezem zov ba'af chazir, it's like a golden ring in the nostril of a pig. Isha yafa v'sarach tam, it's like a beautiful lady that turns away from good judgment. V'omer, and it says, so what does this mean, nezem zov ba'af chazir? Someone who studies Torah, someone who doesn't study Torah is considered contemptible, and is compared to someone who puts a ring, a golden ring, in a pig's nostrils. So the comparison is that a golden ring, the farmer wants to make his pig look beautiful. So he gives his pig a golden ring. So what does the pig do with this golden ring? It just digs in the dirt. It uses this beautiful, valuable thing, and it just digs deeper and deeper into the dirt. So too, Hashem gave us a mind. What are we supposed to do with our minds? We're supposed to delve into the intricacies of Torah and discover the secrets of the universe and discover, quote-unquote, the mind of Hashem. But what do we use it for? We neglect Torah. And we use our mind, on the contrary, to think of new ways to incite our Yetzer Hara. Right? It's not enough that we just give in to our physical pleasures, but we have to use our intellect, and you could just use your imagination, and we create new lustful things that we can do, and we create new ways to gain power over others. We use this glorious brain that God gave us and use it for the opposite of what it was intended for. Just like a pig, which uses a golden ring, which is supposed to make it beautiful, and he uses it to dig in the dirt. Okay, continues the Mishnah, the Brisa of Haluchos Maaseh Elokim Hema. The luchos, the tablets, are the work of God. V'amichtav michtav Elokim hu charos al luchos. It was inscribed on the tablets. Al tikra charos al acheres. Don't read inscribed, but rather free. She'ein lecha ben charim el misha osek b'talmud Torah. The only free person is somebody who studies Torah. Somebody who doesn't study Torah, he's a slave. What is he a slave to? People think that people that study Torah and people that keep mitzvahs are slaves. They have to keep all the commandments. No, on the contrary. Someone who doesn't keep the Torah and someone who doesn't keep the commandments, he is a slave to his desires. He wants to eat now, he has to eat. Whatever he wants to do X, Y, Z, he wants to go to the beach, he has to go to the beach. He just has to do all these things that his desires want him to do. He has no free will. But someone who keeps the Torah, he's free from all of those earthly desires. Whoever studies Torah, he's uplifted. Shnamar, as it says, umatana nachliel, uminachliel bamos. From matana to nachliel and from nachliel to bamos. That means, Rashi says, that first, the Torah is given as a gift. Then it becomes an inheritance. People who take the Torah, take the gift that they're given, it becomes inheritance, becomes more a part of them. And then, bamos, it raises them. So it goes from being a gift to being an inheritance, and then to raising them. Okay, so we learned a lot today about the importance of Torah, and with that we finish the first two brises in this parak. Wishing everyone a great day.